Hey guys, welcome to another video by Get Better Golf. Today we're looking at Rory McIlroy's driver swing. Now, last video we looked at Tiger Woods' new to the 2017 Hero World Challenge swing. But the fact of the matter is, no matter how good he gets, it will never compete with the young bucks in the game today in terms of power, consistency, and overall technique. Look no further than Rory McIlroy's swing from any year from 2010 to 2017, and you will find all three of those things and more embodied in Rory McIlroy's driver swing and all of his swings. Today we're going to take a look at his driver swing from 2012. I want you guys to focus on what I'm saying, from address to takeaway to the top of his swing to the pull down to contact and even finish. Everything about Rory McIlroy's swing is designed for power, consistency, and repeatability. So we're going to start right away with his address. Now the first thing I want you guys to look at is where his eyes are positioned. This may seem like an obvious and clear thing to many people watching this video, but in fact most of us don't have good eye position, meaning head position, when we stand over the ball addressing it before our swing. Rory McIlroy is positioned directly over the ball. His eyes are aimed right at the ball and he is centered on that ball. Now, obviously this is obvious. However, it's not as clear as day as it sounds. Many people have their head over here, or under, or too high. Rory McIlroy's head is in a perfect position to allow his eyes to center on top of the ball. With that in mind, we want to take a look at his posture. If you watch the video by Tiger Woods on his new swing, you will know he's incorporating something we see here. Rory McIlroy is at a 45 to 50 degree angle with a slight knee flex that allows him to comfortably obtain that angle. So, from his address we can gather a few things. His head is in a strong position over the ball. He has his body, his torso in a 45 to 50 degree angle with slight knee flex. Not too much, but just enough to allow him to obtain that angle. I want you to also take a look at something many people overlook. His feet are parallel with his club. If you take a look at Rory McIlroy's driver right here, you will notice his club head is aimed towards these bunkers over here. It's clear we can gather that he's going over these bunkers with either a fade, a straight shot, or a draw over here. With this knowledge, we know these are his three potential target points. I also want you to take a look at something very critical: his hands and his arm positions. His hands are hanging from his shoulders in a comfortable yet strong position. The hands are far enough from his waist to allow him to bring that club backwards in a comfortable way, but not too close where he's uncomfortable, yet also not too far where he's reaching. Because when we reach at address, we will often cause a cast in the takeaway, which will make us cast on the pull down, creating a slice. Now if our hands are too close to our body and torso, we will often come inside the ball on the takeaway and shallow out on our pull down, causing a hook or an overextended draw. If we play the video, let's watch him take away the club. Now I want you to notice something right off the bat. Rory McIlroy, like many professional golfers, do not break their wrists when they take the club back. Many amateurs and even high-level golfers are being hindered because they break their wrists when they take the club away. I tell my students to envision that you are using your shoulders and your waist to take the club back, not the wrists. Let's continue as Rory McIlroy brings the club back, and at the top of the position we will notice something. Right before Rory McIlroy gets to his top position, you will notice his body is stationary, yet his shoulders are turning as the club goes upward. The red line will show you that he is barring out this front arm. As he brings that club back and eventually down, that arm will stay straight all the way through impact. This is to maximize power, consistency, and repeatability. As Rory McIlroy continues his swing all the way to the top, the apex of his pull down, right before his pull down, we will notice his back foot is stationary and he is loading the inside part of his back leg. This is a great technique for any level of golfer to gain more power. If we can learn to load the back side of our back foot, rather the inside of our back leg, we will maximize power. This is the way Rory McIlroy garnishes so much power and is able to hit 320 plus yard shots with his driver. It comes from power from his legs. This power can be seen here in the knee flex. That is why we want to have a small knee flex, and the hips are turned and his eyes are still on the ball. Now, something interesting about Rory McIlroy's swing is the apex of where his club is at the top of his swing. Many instructors will teach you to have a perfectly flat level. However, we can see Rory McIlroy goes a little bit over, if not a lot over in some respects, that flat parallel level to the target. Now, this is a double-edged sword. If you work hard enough, you can learn to control such power and going a little bit over that parallel level. However, it takes an immense amount of work, so it never hurts to stay in line with that parallel level. However, if you do want to gain power, gain yards, and hit 300-yard plus shots like Rory, this is part of it. This is necessary. Going that extra couple inches is the make it or break it when it comes to hitting 300-yard shots. As Rory McIlroy brings that club down, we can just see the immense power in the pull down. His hands highlight exactly what it means, and when he comes to contact, we can see the clear, compact swing coming together. However, his eyes are still on the target. So, from address all the way to impact, his eyes remained on the target, which is his golf ball. Now, let's take a look at where his hips are. His hips are firing towards where his target is, while his head stays on the ball. His back leg is now firing towards the target as well, which is pretty clearly over these bunkers. Now, take a look at his back hips. It has fully extended. From once being towards the other way, he is now fully turning around. This is a great way to maximize power and maximize consistency. He drags that club through while keeping that magical V. And take a look at those hips highlighting again. You will see they fire through contact. And as we watch that, and we can watch that ball go off exactly where we predicted it to go based off his alignment at setup and where his head and hips and shoulders were aimed at contact. Now, after contact is made, Rory McIlroy's head finally comes off the ground from once on the tee, and after contact he is now watching the ball. A natural progression through the ball as he lets his shoulders and hips to fire. Now, I want you to take a look at something key here. Look at his back knees. His back knees have fully fired through the ball. Both of his knees are no longer 90 degrees towards the ball, but rather 90 degrees towards the target. As he brings that club around, he's being careful to hold that finish. And believe it or not, holding that finish can maximize power and include more yards into your drive. Many people, and we talked about it in our previous video, stop the finish and they drop their club. That's one way to be easier on the back, but if you do want to maximize the finish, it's all about holding the picture, and that will help you get more yards.